We are going to show you one of the menu items on our last video. We're going to show you the ramen soup. We're going to show you how to make it. As you can see, you have broth. You don't have to use broth if you don't want to. You can actually just use, beside it, you see the chicken bouillon. Chicken bouillon and water is actually cheaper than buying the actual broth. I do a mixture of both. You can use 2 to 3 ramen packets. It depends on how many people you're feeding. Any flavor you want. We like our stuff a little spicy. You'll need eggs. I like to use a mixture of butter and spray, but you can use whichever you like. So now we are going to start with the soup. Okay, you take your pan and get your broth in there. As you can see, mine already started to get warm. I didn't want you to have to wait forever. Okay, then you put your broth in. Like I said, you could just use water if you want to, and some chicken bouillon. I am going to add a little bit more water to mine. I usually just do some broth and some water and then add some chicken bouillon. I like the broth to be a little bit strong. I like the broth to be a little bit strong. I'm adding a little bit of water, which you know will dilute your broth. So I am going to take a couple chicken bouillon here and break them up to put in my water. Now right now, your temperature of your water, you just want whatever is comfortable for you. You want your water to heat up so you can put your ramen in there. I always, which you'll see here in just a minute, I like things a little bit different, a little bit spicy, and it just depends on who you're cooking for, what all you want to add. I break mine up with my hands. We can act like we are all fancy and do all this stuff, but really, most of us women, when we get in the kitchen, and men when we get in the kitchen, we just mostly use our hands and a little bit of spoons. But when breaking something up, it's so much easier just to use your hands and just break it up. You can get these almost anywhere. If you don't have a lot of extra money to put into your spice cabinet, you actually can get those at the Dollar Tree. It's just a smaller amount. I like to get mine in a larger amount because I use a lot of bouillons, and I use bouillon instead of salt because there's less salt in the bouillon and it seasons your food, and you're using less salt and you're getting more flavor. Okay, so after you get all that in there, you want to mix it a little bit. And I'm sorry, it's going to be a little bit messy, but you mix this up a little bit, and you see it doesn't look like clear water, because you've added your extra bouillon. Now, this is, when I'm making it, is like an Asian version. I mean, you could make chicken noodle soup out of this if you wanted to. But I am going to use, the thing does not want to leave me, I am going to use a little bit of ground ginger to give that little bit of an Asian flavor. Give me a little bit of spice, because I like it. I want to put in some crushed red pepper flakes. Okay, and you want to do all this before it even starts to heat up very much. Remember those 84-cent mixed vegetables we purchased? We're going to add anywhere from a quarter to a half a bag. It depends on what all you're wanting to use your veggies for this week, to your soup while it's warming up. I like to add mine. You can wait and add them with the ramen if you like yours a little bit crunchy, but I don't really like mine very crunchy. I like a little bit of snap, but not extremely crunchy. Now, when you're doing this, as you can see, you've got all your spices added. You have all your vegetables added. And you're going to want it to get in there a little bit. So, usually, I let it boil a little bit before I put my ramen in. That way, you've got a little bit of extra, the flavors moved all around. So, now, I'm going to get my lid. This will help it warm quicker. All you ladies know this, and gentlemen that cook. You just put your lid on there, Let it, I'm gonna let you go for a little bit so this can come up to a boil. As you can see, keep that off of you. You're getting a nice boil here. So you take and you open up your ramen noodles and you place them in here. Now, I keep my packets for the end. You can, closer to the end, you can put your packets in earlier if you want to. You need to, so if you notice something, your ramen noodles here, your when you drop those in, I apologize, but when you drop them in, the water goes down for a minute. You want to give it a second before you start to count your time. As soon as your time starts, as soon as you start your 3-minute time, you want to come straight over and start frying your eggs. So let's put our top back on, and then we're going to move over to fry. Now you take your pan, your griddle, or whatever you do your eggs on, and you spray it. You got to make sure it's already, you want to start heating it. When you're starting your ramen, you go ahead and get this heated, because your eggs take a little bit of time and you want to fry them up. But you want to keep your yellow, because that gives you a little extra flavor. I use, like I told you earlier, a little bit of butter. I'm sorry about the noise there. A little bit of butter and a little bit of spray. So I'm going to lay this over here. We'll go ahead and start our first egg. Now, most of the time when I'm doing my eggs, I season. Oh, that one's going to cause me a little bit of trouble, isn't it? I season at the beginning. But with this, because the way you're doing it, I season at the end. You want to fry your eggs to give yellow. And then when my eggs are fried, we'll come back and I'll show you how you put them into your. Here's the eggs frying. Here in a little bit, I'll flip them and I'll show you how to put them inside your soup. Now, when the yellow is still, as you can see, it's a little difficult because it's a little, you want to try to flip and just barely, gingerly flip it over, because you want to keep that yellow for your soup. Now, hopefully I don't bust it. You just slide it straight on here and you bring it over and you drop it in your soup. Put your lid back on so you can keep it warm as you fry your other eggs. As your last egg is over there cooking for you, I did a couple scrambled, as you can see, to give a little bit extra protein. And you add in all your wonderful ramen seasoning. Now, you can add this in earlier if you want to. You can literally wait for you to put it on the table. It really doesn't matter. It's all in what you like. I just like that flavor seems to stay if you wait till just a little bit before you eat it. And you have the different flavorings of your broth as well. Okay, now give me just a second. I'm gonna flip that last egg and then I'm gonna transfer it over here and we'll be ready to eat. Here is our last egg. We are flipping like I showed you earlier. You kind of just gingerly move it over because you want to keep that beautiful yellow. And I forgot to put my lid back on. We all make plenty of mistakes when we're cooking, but it doesn't matter as long as you have it to the end. Now, I like to really pepper my eggs. That's just me. But here in just a couple seconds, actually, we will move this over to our pot. Then our soup will be ready to eat. Okay, we are moving our last egg over. And let's bring it over. Lay it in there. As you can see, you have soup, fried eggs, gives you all your protein, and plenty of flavor in those noodles with all the different things that we have done, and some vegetables. So I hope you guys enjoy this. And if there's anything else, any other recipe that you would like me to demonstrate for you guys that I have set out, and I will be giving you more recipes, please contact us. Please subscribe. So, to summarize, this was our egg drop soup, as you can see. I don't really call it egg drop soup. I apologize. Ramen soup. I hope you guys enjoy it. We will be adding other recipes and showing you guys other ideas to make meals on a budget. So subscribe, comment below, and like us, and have a wonderful evening.